Awesome. Welcome, everyone. My name is Patricia, and we are here with Bill Whiteley. And Bill Whiteley is going to share his incredible testimony in his journey with the Sisel products. So before we get started, Bill, would you mind to share a little bit of your background, your history, where you're from, and how you were introduced to this product, and who spoke to the mountain in your life?
Yeah, well, it's a big job. I'll try to condense it down. I'm originally from Central Washington. I've traveled the U.S. I live in Southern California. My primary background has been financial. Of course, I was in the stock brokerage business, and I got my own firm. We had a thriving business. We did stocks, bonds, commodities, venture capital. I finally sold my venture capital firm to my securities attorney in 2004. I was just tired of all the red tape, being the first in, all the liability and all of that. So we sold out. Sandy and I took 2 computers home. We just wanted to do network marketing. Why? Because I owned a network marketing company 30 years ago. And I never, ever forgot about the freedom, the financial success, about the products. Do what you want, when you want, where you want, with whom you want. And you have access to the best cutting edge nutrition available. And that's always been important to us. So fast forward, I'm 71 years old and I've never gotten it out of my brain. I started doing it again in 2004. We made a great income, always mid 6 figures, and we just enjoy life. I heard about the H bill last July 2017. And most products out there are cutting edge in their own mind. They're really copycat, me too, ho-hum products. They've been private labeled somewhere, and they may or may not, usually not work. They take your money, you try the product, you move on. So when I heard about the H bill, I thought, this could be something. If it does even a little bit about what they say it might do, this could be huge. So I almost didn't do it, but I'm glad that I did. And we ordered the product on the 21st. I signed up with Sisel. I was aware of Sisel. I knew they'd been around 12 years. They passed the test of failure. They're here to stay. And but I only joined because I wanted the H bill. So I joined on the 21st. We received the product on the 28th. It's kind of funny, we got it and we were sitting there, and I took my 3H bill and I was on the phone like I am every day, talking to people and having a good time. And it was about 1 o'clock in the afternoon. I hung up the phone and Sandy was right behind me. I could feel her presence. And she said, "What do you want?" I said, "Excuse me?" And she said, "What do you want?" I said, "I'm just my nutrition, my vitamins and so on." She said, "No, you don't act like this normally. What do you want?" And I said, "Well, I started the H bill this morning." And she said, "Well, give me some." So that was July 28th. And I tell you what, I loved it from day one. I felt I had all kinds of energy. I was multitasking, talking to people, making websites, doing about 3 things at once and having a ball. And that was the way it got started. But it was like during the first week, my nose started running, both nostrils. And I mean running to the ground. I would sit in my chair holding a paper towel, and I had to. I tried to do things that would clear my sinuses. Nothing worked, and that lasted about 3 days. But Patricia, I haven't had to use a handkerchief since. It's been over a year. My sinuses are clear. My nose is always clean and clear. And I may have to trim a few hairs in my nose, but I do that frequently because of the H bill. So that's the way it got started. But I just felt energy, and to me, it was like that get her done energy. I noticed that I was not procrastinating. Even if I saw a little piece of paper on the floor, I would stop and pick it up. I started winding the hose up instead of pulling the hose up. And to backtrack just a little bit about why it was feeling so good to me, I've always been in great shape. I've always been on nutrition, but about 4.5, 5 years ago, like a dummy, I bought 2 barns on my ranch, and we were setting them up, and the guy was in a hurry. So the guy that was leveling the barns, he grabbed 2 blocks and hauled over to level it up. I thought, I'll help him out. So I grabbed 2 of those blocks. They turned out to be 135-pound concrete blocks. I picked up 2. I turned real quick to the right, and I just tore my back out. 4, 5, and S1. I went numb. I thought, oh my gosh, I'm going to be paralyzed. and fell down and got finally crawled over to a fence and crawled up and started pulling myself up. And that's the way it started. Horrible back pain. I went through that for about 6 months. I had a surgery, and because we raised bull mastiff dogs, I was walking a 6-month-old female, and she started chasing a rabbit. Well, she jerked me along, caused me to blow my back surgery out. Wow. So I was really in trouble, taking pain pills, getting it worse and worse and worse, actually getting addicted. And then I got to California about 2 years ago, and that's when I got my second back surgery. And of course, a very competent surgeon did the best job he could, but I still had residual pain in my right hip running to my ankle. He said, Bill, I hate to tell you, but that's going to be residual pain. You're never going to get rid. It's irreparable. Nerve damage. So I was living with it. And of course, that was one of the first things that went when I went on the H pill. I've been on it about 3 weeks. I take my little chihuahuas out for a walk, and I didn't have hip pain. I could not believe it. And the back pain was no longer there. So almost all the pain had left. And to me, that made H pill worth it right there. Of course, I was off the medication, off the drugs, and off the pain pills. But, you know, for 3.5, 4 years, I hadn't picked up anything over 7 or 8, maybe 9 pounds. My poor wife had to do it all. Lucky for me, she's in good shape. You know, she's 5'7", size 0. She's just what I call bone, muscle, and hair. She works out. Her back is like a brick. She's in great shape. She loves the H pill, but we started the same day. Now, back to my experience on the H pill. So I cleared out my sinuses. And then it was maybe the first month. I've worn glasses since 1978 to read, to drive, and I'd gotten to the point where I couldn't drive at night. I would pull over at dusk and let my wife take over, and she would drive. I just couldn't take the headlights, or high or low beam, either one. Plus, I couldn't see very well. Well, all of a sudden, I was getting like a dirt storm or a dust storm in my eyes, and it was like, what? And, using Visine, anything to clean them out, and nothing worked. It was just like constant sand. That lasted about 5 days maybe. And then I could see my computer. I'd do our daily reading, and I would pick up a book. I didn't need glasses. And I thought, wow, I don't have to wear glasses. I still carry them in my car in case I get pulled over, because it's on my driver's license. I have to have glasses. But that was a big plus right there. So no glasses and no pain in my right hip. I told my back surgeon about it, and he said, whatever it is, keep taking it, because he was astonished. But I just kept taking it. I take 3 twice a day, and without fail, I haven't missed a day. In fact, I think yesterday was 440 days. So it's been a real neat experience. I've been diabetic for years, I think maybe 14, 15 years, high blood sugar, and it's been a real problem. So I was on 2 different oral medications, and I think it's glimepiride and metformin. And I would have to take that. I didn't like it, but I needed to keep my blood sugar down. Well, the day that I started the H pill, I went to my doctor, went across the hall, and got a blood test. So I've documented every inch of the way, every 90 days about what's happening. And the first thing that happened when I'm on the H pill, maybe the first month, I'm starting to shake before meals. I think, wow, that's crazy. Usually it's the other way around. That was like low blood sugar. And I told Sandy, I says, pull in, I got to buy a Snickers. So I started keeping Snickers or some candy around in case my blood sugar fell. Then I got back to see my doctor, and we checked my blood test, and my A1C had went from about a 9 down to a 5.9. He said, my gosh, Bill, your blood sugar is perfect. Get off the pills. So I got off the 2 medications, and that's maybe been 10, 11 months ago. And it's been a real boost not to have to buy it, take it, and live with it. And I can eat pretty much what I want. So it's been wonderful for my blood sugar problems. Well, of course, we went ahead and tested other things. My blood pressure used to run about 140 over maybe 135, 140. It was pretty high. But my blood sugar's been down now, or my blood pressure, I'm 112 over 66. So he's very happy, I'm very happy, and it's just a great thing to do. Speaking about blood tests, My A1C came down to a really great level, but my PSA, and most men are really concerned about PSA, especially at my age, 40 and above. And it was normally in the fives, not high, but not low. But guess what it was after being on the age pill for 6 months? 0.035.
That
And I told
is
him,
amazing.
I know, and I told my doctor, I says, that's not bad. It's only a little shade over 3. And he said, no, Bill, 0.035. You're about a third of one. So that was really good news. And also from my blood tests, my testosterone at my age has been running about 330, 360. It's now 895. And how did that happen? Well, that's what the age pill does. It cleans out your cells inside and outside, everywhere throughout your body. And when you start cleansing the cells, the stem cells, the DNA, everything starts to function properly. So we get restoration, cleansing, restoring, and everything happens, replenishing. And I've had a lot of people tell me, I'm going to go down and get some stem cell therapy. And I say, why? One guy did it for $30,000 and it did not work. His doctor wanted him to do it again. Excuse me. His doctor wanted him to do it again for 30 more. And I says, why don't you try the age pill and start letting the body restore your own DNA and your own stem cells? And you'll save money and you'll get better results. So that's just one of the things it did for me that I was really happy about. So just I've been bald for years and years, but you can see I've got hair, and I couldn't believe it. Hair started growing back. My wife, she says, "Oh, you got hair growing in." I didn't even want to look because I was afraid it wasn't, but it has.
Wow.
So I'm really happy with the head of hair I have now. What else did I get from the doctor? My cholesterol. They've always told me, oh, you've got to go over there and you've got to be on those statins. Well, I won't take statins because of what they do to the body. But when my cholesterol, she didn't gripe. I got 2 doctors, a man and a woman. But she told me, she says, your cholesterol is perfect, Bill. Those statins are really working, aren't they? I said, yeah, they're working great. I don't want to argue with her and tell her I won't take them, but I just don't. I don't take statins for obvious reasons. So that's been good. Cholesterol's fine. The blood pressure's fine. My PSA, the testosterone is way up there. That's always helpful to a man. My hair is growing back. From days in the military, I got used to 4 and 5 hours sleep a night. I just could not sleep. And if I doze off to sleep and I'm woken for any reason, I'm up. I just can't go back. I mean, it's something about the brain getting 36 seconds of sleep and so on. But now I'm sleeping no longer 4 and 5 and 6 hours. And now it's 7, 8, and 9. Last night, I got 9.5 hours sleep. So I feel almost like one of my teenage daughters, they never get enough sleep. But the age pill has just given me that. Another thing, it's been 14 months and I used to really, look forward to weekends off and no work and start late and quit early and all of that, maybe a nap in the afternoon. I've been going 7 days a week since I started the age pill. I mean, that doesn't mean I don't go to town or go to dinner or go to, functions or whatever, but when the phone rings, I answer it. And I've just really enjoyed, working with Sisel. We've got great distributors who have joined us. The testimonies never stop coming in, and they're more astonishing than mine sometimes, and most of the time. But it's just been a wonderful thing to be able to feel better, have more energy. I started going back to the gym. And, going 5 years, well, not quite 5, 4.5 years, and not lifting over 9 pounds, everything was going south. And I used to fall down. My balance was gone. I'd lead one of my dogs, and they'd pull me a little bit to the other side, and I'd fall. Luckily, I fell on weeds or bushes or something and never broke anything. But now I go uphill, downhill, through the mud, up the rocks. We're lifting weights, working out. And I added RIP to the age pill. And, of course, RIP really did work. And, I can feel my muscles in my legs. They're all nice and firm.
Well,
my arms are nice and firm.
Bill, I'm sorry to interrupt you, but there's people out there that may not know what RIP is. What is RIP?
Well, RIP is it's a 9 essential amino acids. Your body doesn't produce these, but you have to have them. And I've tried over the years to take branched chain aminos. I've taken whey products and different protein drinks, but I went on the Ripped, and all of a sudden I went from 199 down to 183. And I tried, when I hurt my back, I lost a lot of weight. I was down to 175 to keep the pressure off my spine. So I was trying to get back to 200. Well, I made it back to 199, then I found the age pill. Right away, without dieting, I started losing weight. So I started eating more. One piece of chicken, two pieces of chicken, one burger, two burgers, whatever. Trying to get back up, but I've never done it. I'm still 183 right now. So it stabilized my weight. But with the Ripped, it helps you build muscles. And what they did, when they tested that, without getting into all the details, basically they took people from 40 to 80. They said you can't exercise, you can't be up and around, you can't walk, you can't do anything. You can get up and eat and pee, and that's about it. So if you're willing to do that, we'll give you the test. You can have it. Everybody gain muscle. Well, with me, I love I want to build my muscles in my chest and elbows and everything else. But the most important muscle for me is my heart. And it's obvious with my blood tests and blood pressure and all that, things are going great. So it does work. And we've got a lot of distributors that are on it. And they're almost like muscle men. They used to ride 30 miles. Now they go 100 miles. And I've got my friend over in Phoenix, Arizona. I'm not going to go into his whole deal, but he's 78 years old, bench pressing 370 pounds. He's on the age pill and Ripped.
What?
So, yeah, Wayne Hansen, a good friend of mine. Yeah.
Oh.
And 10 months ago, he had a heart attack. And the guy that I know that called him said, I'm going to send you 2 bottles of age pill. If you live, you're going to owe me $120. If you die, it's on you. Excuse me, I should turn that off. But, that's kind of been the way it's been. It's just been fun. People are trying it. They're getting a response. And once in a while, you find someone that says, I've been on the age pill, and I didn't do anything for me. It doesn't work. I said, that's nonsense. It works. It's mechanical. If I spray you with water, you're going to get wet. If I hit you on the head with a ball peen hammer, your head's going to hurt. And when you take the age pill, it's going to begin the process of cleansing your cells. Some are dirtier than others, depending on who it is and how old, and all of that, But if you'll be patient and you'll commit, then you'll get results. I certainly have, and they've been life-changing. Because now I'll tell you what, I did 2 things recently. I thought I was pretty well done. After that back, I couldn't carry anything, everything hurt, and nothing was working. Well, recently, after being on the age pill, I just bought a 6.5 acre ranch. I've got a nice home on it, lots of trees. I got my tractor and all my tools and everything here, chainsaws, weed whackers out there taking care of it and cutting it and hauling it and doing it. And I couldn't do that a year ago. I thought I was done. And I was, like I told you about the driving, I was driving 50, 55 miles an hour. And I used to be a race car driver. But I thought, those days are over. I can't do anything. I just play it safe, watch the road very carefully. Well, I told you the other day, Sandy and I, we went out and bought a new new yellow Vet convertible. And it's fun driving 400 horsepower again. Wow. You just step on it and go and be in control and be in charge. So people want to tell me the age pill doesn't work. They're crazy. It does work.
It's amazing. Continue. You've got lots there. I love it.
Well, I'm talking too much, but one thing that I can tell you, one of many, it's just been the best thing that's happened to Sandy and I. She's in great shape. She's been a bodybuilder for years and years and years. So like I mentioned, back like a brick. But she tells me all the time, the age pill is the most powerful nutrient or nutritional additive that I've ever taken. And, when we go work out at the club, most times she'll set down a pack of weights and men will walk up and try to pick it up and they can't. So, or they'll get on a machine she was on, they got to readjust the weight. She's really in great shape. I wish she was here today. But we're having fun again. We've resumed life and we're traveling. We're doing everything we want to do. We're making pretty good money. And we didn't do this for the money. I've always made a good income. But I cannot sell something I don't believe in. And when I found Sisel, I thought, regardless of what they say about Sisel, the products have to work. If I get a response out of this, we'll try it. So I did the age pill. I loved it. I added RIP to it, and my muscles have demonstrated that they're working. It's nice to look at your muscles and see the veins stick out. I was starting to get varicose veins on both ankles, and one was broken 3 times from skiing. So I thought, well, what's going to happen? But I noticed when I went on the age pill, go ahead. When I went on the age pill, why all that cleared up. It's back to normal again. And I don't know, it's just working. When you look at what it does, you take the age pill, it's going age, anti-glycation extreme. It's going to begin cleansing your cells throughout the body. And when people ask me, will this cure diabetes? Will this do this with the heart? Will this help with pancreas? I say, is that attached to an organ? Yeah. Is that organ has cells? They say yes. Then don't worry about trying to be a doctor or a scientist. Just take the age pill, let it cleanse the cells, and it's going to work throughout your entire body. So I used to have green eyes. My eyes are blue now, and you can see maybe.
Is that what do you mean by that?
Well, I've always had green eyes, and when you cleanse your body, now, I'm going to talk about cleansing. Sisel has a product called Super Detox, and it came with the Wealth Builder pack, the Wellness pack, and I thought I've done several cleansing throughout my life, 3-day fast, 7-day fast, 10-day fast, what have you, and so I tried it, and boy, does it work, and I recommend that people take that. Looking back in retrospect, take the Super Detox, cleanse your internal organs, your stomach, your diaphragm, everything, and get it cleaned out so that you can assimilate this nutrition. You can assimilate more of it faster, quicker, because it just works that way. But when I got into Sisel, I started the RIP, and I tried other products. I got on the Triangle of Life. And of course, resveratrol with that product called Eternity, the technology behind it is just incredible. It's the most powerful, the most potent in the world, and it's pure, and it really does work. It makes you feel good, so I've added that to my regimen. Fucoidan, I've known about fucoidan for years, but I knew that if you took too much, it could be detrimental, and that's because fucoidan picks up some of the negatives from the sea. Well, I found out, like cadmium, mercury, other sodium, maybe calcium, things you don't really want too much of. Well, Tom Maurer, when he built Sisel, first thing he did was build a $4 million machine that would take and remove every negative aspect of fucoidan and keep 100% of what's in fucoidan that's good for the body to have. So, wow, that fucoidan right there is it's a powerhouse.
Well,
it's one of the most powerful.
Fucoidan was Sisel's #1 seller before age. Is that right?
Yeah, it was the #1 product and has been for 12 years. When he started Sisel, he was working on the fucoidan project, and he was getting a lot of help from doctors in Japan. And of course, they helped him do all of this, get it all perfected and patented. So when they started Sisel, they said, since we helped you, launch in Japan first. So a U.S. company launches in Japan first, and that's where they have all the big millionaires and people making $40,000, $50,000 a week over in Japan because they had a jump start on everybody else. And then he went into the UK, all throughout Europe, and it's almost like he made full circle. Now he finally came back to America, and North America, that is. And so it's almost like a startup here, even though they've been in business 12 years. And in my opinion, they have the 7, I don't even remember by memory what they are, but I know there's things we look for in a company, because most of these companies will fail in their first couple of years. It really is a tough grind. They don't have the capital, they don't have the experience, and they just don't make it. Those that do make it generally never ever make it past 5 years. But here we got Sisel, 12 years old. They got their manufacturing concerns, and that is very impressive. I used to own a multi-level company, and we had 507 products. So we didn't create our own. We had to go out to formulators, and we had to pick and choose the formula they suggested we picked a price point that we could work with. And on shampoo, they say you want the 50-cent shampoo, the $1 shampoo, the $5 shampoo. Well, whatever it was, we would 4 times the price. And it's a nightmare. So for someone to be able to manufacture their own products, to have their own in-house pharmaceutical team, PhDs who are developing, and Tom Mauer's done it for not only Sisel but for over 110 other companies. So they've got it covered over there. I really take peace in knowing that fact. They do it right there. I like the team. It's not perfect. Nothing is perfect, including you and I, but they really do. I've been with them for 14 and a half months now. I've been paid every day on time. I love their fast starts. They pay daily. And then we get paid on the 15th of the next month for what we did this month. But I always get paid about the 13th or 14th. I like that. And it's never been short. I've had a few issues with some of the distributors, but we take it to customer service or the corporate and they fix it. So they're very willing. They're very good. I really like these guys. But to me, that company just has moxie. But I suppose I wouldn't even be with them right now if I hadn't found the age pill first. And I'm also on the age, the brain vitality. Now, 5 years ago, before I hurt my back, I knew a real famous developer, product developer, and he's probably Tom Mauer's equal, maybe not quite, whatever, but he really knows his stuff. He doesn't have to access any written material. He just knows what's up. And he had a brain pill that had 27 studies behind it. And when you see these brain products out there, they always piggyback him and his studies. And so I was buying it, $75 for a bottle for a month. And I had to take 6 in the morning and 6 in the afternoon. I did that for years. But whenever I found the brain vitality with Sisel, I thought I'll try it. Well, it says take 3 a day. 3 was too much for me. I've cut mine back. I only take 2. I take 2 in the morning. I stopped taking the brain reward that was, 12 capsules a day, and I'm taking just the brain vitality. Sandy takes 1, I take 2, and we're happy. Almost like photographic memory. We have a good time with that.
Yeah, that brain vitality is just phenomenal. Absolutely incredible. Yeah.
Well, no matter what you're doing, you've got to keep your A game going, brain, body, and blood. You've got to keep it all working, keep it clean and pumping and developing so you can perform at maximum optimal performance levels.
And look at you, the last 14 years, how your life has changed and where you are today. Now, looking out there, and anybody who's seen this video, what would you say to them?
Well, I would, get on the age pill first and foremost. It's become probably the best-selling nutritional product in the world right now. It flat out works. And when you get into, network marketing, people always want to they get all these choices, and you'll have onesies, twosies, startups, pre-launch, all these things. And it's just crazy, because we know they're not going to make it. But whenever you get into it, look for a company that has it all together. Look for a company that's got a product line. Look for a track record and find Sisel. Then you've got to be able to make money with it. I won't sell anything to make money unless I believe in the product and the company. But I tell you, when you go to Sisel, what I would say to people out there, join Sisel, buy the Wealth Builder Pack. You can get just the age pill if you want, but the Wealth Builder Pack will give you a great assortment. And instead of paying $4.15 distributor price, which is a good value, you'll only pay $3.15. That will help you get started. It'll let you find out just how powerful these products are. You will begin to feel good and better immediately. You'll be like me. You'll become almost hooked on it, and then go out and find 6 more people to do the same thing. And in the industry, even back when I had my company years ago, everybody thought they could only have 3 people, and average person sponsors 2.78 people. No, when you've got something that works and something that's good, you can bring in a lot of people and help them out. And it's so easy. If I see you, Patricia, I say, "Hey, how are you, Patty?" You say, "Oh, I'm good. How are you?"
And that's it, because we become a product of the product, and people see us and they notice a difference right away. It's absolutely incredible. So I just want to say thank you, Bill. Thank you for your time and energy and spending this great, valuable, giving us this valuable information. I really appreciate it. And do you have anything else that you want to add to it?
Well, I've had fun talking with you, and I do this every day, all day long. I just love it. And when it's like they said, missionaries come home and they stop getting paid. I don't mean getting paid in money, but in gratitude and everything else. And I just love helping the people and hearing their callbacks and their testimonies. That really makes me feel great. I enjoy getting paid for it. That makes me feel even better. And it's so good to know you represent something that's going to help millions and millions of people. And everything starts just with you and with me and with the people we talk to. And people will say, Bill, how are you today? And I said, well, thanks to the H Bill, I'm doing great. Oh, what's the H Bill? Oh, I'm glad you asked. So that's all you got to do. Go out there and have confidence and build your business, build your life, become free, and feel better than you have in years.
I love it. Thank you so much, Bill. We appreciate your time and energy.